Howdy, everyone. Matt here. I got a question for you. What do you think of placebo? Is it good? Is it bad? Or maybe something else? Let's talk about it. Hi, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Matt. I am Matt the PT, coming at you with another video on another topic of something in the physical therapy world. And this one is placebo. Is it all bad? Is it really something that is so negative? Because we tend to think of it as a negative thing. We get introduced to placebo, like typically when we're pretty young. You're out, you fall, you get hurt, your mom picks you up, gives you a hug and a kiss, and you feel better. You don't know why. She has some magical properties that helps you just feel so much better. But we know now that's a placebo effect. Then we typically learn about placebo with like medication studies, they gave this group of people the real thing and this group of people got, the placebo by Pfizer.
Placebo. I think it's made by Pfizer.
And that's what helped them feel better. And no, there's no difference between the groups. So it's the treatment is actually not that effective. So we hear about that. And I know when we get into school, like PT school, we read about this and, you through PT, PTA, OT, OTA, speech, chiropractic school, what have you, you can hear the same thing. We're going to do this treatment and a placebo. So things like ultrasound and sham ultrasound, needling and sham needling, or manipulation, sham manipulation, or surgery and sham surgery. And we hear about that. And we start talking about placebo in a negative way. Because, hey, we compared this treatment to a placebo treatment and there was no difference. So that means that this treatment is not effective. And so we have that thing to say, well, we shouldn't do that because it's not effective. Now at CSM, I did sit on a interesting talk with Dr. Adrian Lowe, and he brought up in a little small section about placebo and how it could be actually effective. He said, think about somebody who came in, and there could be a number of reasons why they came in. They could be that they view you as an expert. Hey, everyone here around told me that you're the person to come see for this issue. It could be that the person comes in and says like, hey, I just think if you do this treatment, I will feel better. And he says, think about it. So if you do that treatment to the person says, oh my gosh, I just feel so much better. And then they go about their lives or doing whatever and they feel good. Possibly it's a placebo, but he goes, but the person got better. Or if the person's saying, you're the expert I got to come to, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to do everything that you tell me to do. And I know I will get better, even though that what you tell them or whatever, or whomever told them isn't really true, that placebo just, was nothing, but the person got better. And I know I'm going to look back through my entire career. I've been thinking about that. And I said, there's been some times when I could swear that what I did with somebody was possibly a placebo. Okay. And I know the negative people to therapy or rehab in general, you're probably just tripping just away right now, just being like, yeah, therapy is just bad. It's all negative. You don't do nothing with people and all that. And it's like, cool, who cares? Whatever. Because there are a ton of factors that go into working with people and helping people. There's a ton of things that go into it. And I'm going to admit to that. And maybe placebo is a thing that can help with that. And I'm just going to say this right now. I think maybe placebo could be beneficial. And of course, if you think that, I want to hear your thoughts and beliefs and comments and stuff like that. Share them on this as well, because what I really think with placebo is that, first off, there are people that want something. There are people that want a treatment. They want they want a solution. They want a treatment. They want a cure. They want that. They want the expert. They want the answer. And in their mind, no matter what they're told, if it fits up with that, they're going to possibly get better. Now, I will talk about in the realm of therapy. There are those things that I always say this, that, sometimes an ankle sprain's an ankle sprain. Somebody twists their ankle. Okay, you got a irritation to the ATFL out there. So we're going to Did I say that correctly? ATFL? Yeah, ATFL. I think I said the wrong thing. But, okay, you just got a little bit of that. We just got to work some stuff and you're going to feel better. And, of course, we got people on the other side. They're just, no matter what you tell them or what you do, they're not going to say that it helps them. Those grumpy old people that, they're not always old. But just some grumpy person is just, okay. Even though if you show them, hey, well, you're doing this, but, I'm not better. We're just going to scoot them over there because that doesn't matter. But there's times when people come in and they want an answer. I was told that you're the expert in some way, form, or fashion. It's either one, maybe their physician told them you need to go to PT because that's going to help you. Maybe you need to go see this person because they're the expert, or maybe somebody with this certification or those things. Or maybe you did something to them when they came in. So maybe because you listened to them, that helped them. Maybe because you did put your hands on them. Maybe it was using a modality or something, but it got them feeling better. It took some sort of symptom that they had and it improved it. It made it better. Pain went down. Walking speed got faster. They could reach better. Something went on. And you may know or maybe not know, but maybe deep down inside you realize, I don't think I really did that much for that person, but they say that they feel so much better. And I think this is what comes to a crossroads, that it could go one way, that's good, and that could be viewed as really, really good, but it could go another way that's going to be a bit more questionable. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but maybe more questionable. So say that person, there's a person that comes in, they've had 20 years of back pain. It's a 7 or 8 out of 10, and you do some ultrasound on their back. I'm just going to throw that out there. You do some ultrasound there on their back, and they get up after 8 minutes and they say, wow, my back feels so much better. My pain is like a 2. And they're like, twisting around and, they're like, it feels so much better. Could you use that moment to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to lead you down this path of doing those things that we know in the research and stuff like that shows is beneficial, is to help you. So we understand things with back pain or what have you, that exercise and movement and those things are going to be beneficial. And so now that I've got you feeling better with this modality that I know really didn't do anything, could we take those next steps where you start exercising and moving and doing those things to get you better? Maybe we could also start having that talk about, getting enough sleep and how's your sleep quality and, improving things like sleep. How about managing stress and those things, getting them to go talk to a counselor, maybe changing their nutrition, just any of those things that we know are going to get you really, really good benefits. And they're going to benefit you so much more because we know very often with some people with their pain issues they have, it can be multifactorial. But maybe I use that placebo to get you to buy in and to take that next step and to do that next thing and to keep going. That I empowered you with just a little bit of that. What do you think about that? And of course, if you enjoy the video, please hit that thumbs up button. But what if it goes that other direction? And I think that this happens at times, that there are providers out there that will use a placebo treatment to go the other way. So yes, that person felt better with the ultrasound. I'm going to use the same example. They felt better with that ultrasound. And so they're going to say, well, just come back in 2 days and we'll come do it again. And they're not going to really go over a lot of other stuff, but it's like, no. Now I'm using this placebo to create a dependence, to make it where I just get you feeling good enough to make it back to your next appointment and just coming back and coming back and coming back. And I know I have unfortunately seen that in my career with people that ended up going to somebody for one thing or another. I'm not saying it's one profession or anything like that, because I have seen it. You probably think of chiro. I've seen it with chiros. I've seen it with PTs. I've seen it with physicians. I've seen it with with massage therapists. I have seen it with many things in my career. But just getting that person bought in and knowing that you're not doing enough with them. It's just enough to get them back. You're not giving them the additional tools to really help themselves and to really, really overcome this thing. It's just to keep them coming back for that next thing and that next thing and that next treatment and that next treatment. That you're not wanting them to build that independence and to go down that other way where they don't need you, where they end up just really not needing you. Maybe for little things every once in a while. And I think if they go down that path, and I have patients that do this, that hit me up every once in a while. Hey, I got this little tweak. What do you think? And they just kind of use me for like little things here and there just for information. But it's not really deep, involved treatments that are going down that other way.
Big thank you to Gag Reflex Tees for the awesome t-shirt. If you work in healthcare and have a twisted sense of humor, check them out, gagreflextees.com. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Back to the video.
That's where some of those kind of questionable, those out there things kind of fall into, that some of them play upon the placebo and utilize that thing. It's I'm just going to listen to you. I'm going to validate what you say. I'm going to feed into what you believe or what you want. And I'm just going to keep you in this little loop, and we're going to go down this way. I'm not going to give you the tools to really be empowered upon yourself. I'm just going to keep you kind of just staying in this little loop like that. But, you know, I just wanted to share that. I just want to talk about it. The placebo thing. So, in seeing that, and I'm just going to wrap this up. Again, I'll quit rambling on this point. But really, should we keep thinking that placebo is so negative? Keep thinking like, no, because that's placebo, we don't need to utilize it. But I could argue that maybe there are times when that's what we actually utilize. That when somebody comes, saying, hey, I was told you're the specialist to see. You're the person I need to see. You're the profession I need to see for this. And that we use that to our advantage to say, okay, this person is believing, they're feeling better by just doing this. I'm going to take those next steps to get you moving and exercise to empower you. That's what I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this for good. I'm going to get those things to help you. And I want you to get away from that placebo thing and realize that's not what's helping you. These other things are doing so much more for you. Really lean into those things and living a healthier and happier life versus just getting stuck in the cycle of this stuff over and over and over again. Like I said, and it's probably not every patient. It's most likely not every patient, but there's some, possibly could be. So if you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoy the content, these videos, the special test videos, the funny videos, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a copay or anything like that. And of course, let me know your thoughts, your beliefs, all of that down in the comments below. And like always, take care of yourself. Take care of your patients. I'll see you next time.